Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Wednesday. We got above 30 today.
We did, and the sun was shining as well. It's about to set any second here, but it was a nice day today.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Busy day in the news department, so here's what's making headlines today. Continued reaction to the controversial photograph featuring a group of Baraboo students, why the community says they are so much more than this post.
The first migrants that are part of the migrant caravan reached the United States southern border as Defense Secretary Jim Mattis visits troops at the crossing point in Texas.
And then later, a closer look at the fate of a $100 million tax incentive package to keep Kimberly-Clark in Wisconsin. We'll hear from senators on both sides of the argument.
Let's take a look outside. Nice day today. A little milder, as we were saying.
Relatively
sunny.
speaking, still below average, but we'll take it at this point. What are we looking at here?
I think those are the Christmas trees that they're getting set up. Isn't that what that is?
I can't make heads or tails of that. It's a little spooky. Anyway, a little milder, the weather words. Dana's in the backyard, and we're going up from here.
Yes, only for another day or so. Today was a little cold outside, but we actually crossed the threshold. We weren't freezing this afternoon, so that was a nice change of pace. If you didn't notice, we spent a little bit of time below freezing, actually about 62 consecutive hours below freezing. That's the longest streak since back in March, from the 7th through the 9th. It was a little cold back then. So we are actually going to stay warm as we head into tomorrow. I say warm, a little more mild, I guess, for your forecast for tomorrow, so it won't be as bad as what we saw earlier this week. Right now, our Doppler track is nice and calm. A clear sky today with lots of sunshine, and temps are still hovering just above freezing for us, just barely breaking that threshold. About 33 in Madison right now, and 34 in Janesville, 36 in Mineral Point. With a bit of a breeze, notice how that direction has shifted, now coming from the south-southwest, so that has helped send a little milder air into our direction. Wind chills, though, still cold. Still feels like we're closer to 25 right now outside, even though we're finally over freezing. Overnight, we're going to cool down yet again into the 20s. And then tomorrow afternoon, plan on another day below average, but in the 40s for us. Haven't been there for a minute. 41 degrees is what we're looking at for our forecast for Thursday. And of course, a lot of sunshine for tomorrow, but our next little rain event is going to move in by the weekend with an alert day in the forecast soon. So we'll break that down in just a few minutes. Right now, of course, we want to take a look at what's going on the roadways with our first alert traffic update. Right now, of course, a lot of green out there. The Beltline, though, slowing down just a little bit. If we take a closer look to the eastbound side, about 25 miles per hour. Just east of John Nolan Drive, the west side of John Nolan Drive, about 21. Again, that's on the eastbound side. Where 12 and 39 meet, everything looks okay right now. And up in Middleton, a little bit of a delay there on University Avenue, and then towards 14, also seeing a bit of a delay heading west of a 12 near Middleton. All looks fine right now. Your drive times are all green. 28 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline, 17 minutes from Sun Prairie right into downtown. 15 minutes. Oh no, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown there. My graphics changing on me. We'll keep a close eye on the roads for, of course, a little while longer. Have an update on that in just a little bit. But we'll check back in and take a look at our alert day forecast coming up here in a few.
Hitting the brakes there a little bit, I guess. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana. First at 4, the city of Sun Prairie is celebrating the reopening of Main Street more than 4 months after a devastating explosion.
Our Amy Reed is live there right now. Amy, what's going on?
We just wrapped up a beautiful ceremony. The mayor of Sun Prairie spoke, the chief of the fire spoke, someone from the Department of Revenue, going over the changes that we've seen over the past few months since that explosion on July 10th. Now, with me, I have the chief of fire, Christopher Garrison. Thank you so much for being with us today. What was it like to address that crowd?
Well, you know, I'm not surprised about the size of the crowd because the support that we've had here in Sun Prairie has been absolutely amazing. You know, this whole issue, it's about moving forward, and this is what this community needs to do. They stepped up for us in our time of need, and it's just been an amazing issue.
It seemed a big focus of that ceremony was to not forget, but still move forward. Can you still touch on that?
Well, you know, we provide a service for this community. We're here for this community, and we're here for the residents. So it's our job to move forward. We can't step back from that. They stepped up for us in our time of need, and it's our time to get back in control of the city and supply what these residents deserve. And that's a top-rate fire, police, and EMS service. And that's what we provide. We're very proud of what we do here, and we think we've got the best fire, police, and EMS departments in the world. We truly do.
Thank you so much, Chief. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Go ahead and send it back to you guys.
All right, big day in Sun Prairie. Thank you, Amy.
Emotional day as well. Well, nearly 72 hours after a photo in Baraboo went viral, the community is still reeling.
The post of teens appearing to do a Nazi salute has spread all over the world, as you know. But as Keely Arthur found out, the folks back home say Baraboo is much better than this one photo, Keely.
That's right. So much frustration over the photo, but so many residents who want people to know Baraboo is so much more than that now infamous picture, appearing to show a significant number of male Baraboo high school students making a Nazi salute. Now, since the photo surfaced, we've talked to some of the students who are in it, and they say they are innocent. The photographer of the photo says he told the students to make a, quote, hi sign. But many others say there is no mistaking that Nazi salute. The Baraboo Police Department is assisting the school district in its investigation. So far, more than 8,000 people have signed a petition calling for the suspension of the students in the photo. And we caught up with a Baraboo business owner and asked her how she feels. And this is what she said.
Good people, good people. That, like I said, that's silly teenage boys. And a lot of it has to do with the education. I mean, are we not teaching them at home? You know, you don't treat people like that, and it's offensive to a lot of people.
A big change for a place that U.S. News and World Report ranked on its list of up-and-coming American cities just last year. And coming up on News 3 at 6, we asked people to share what makes Baraboo so great for them. And they shared a lot of positive things, especially during this very negative time.
Very emotional time, too, for everyone involved.
You can feel the tension in the air up in Baraboo.
All right, Keely, thank you. We'll see you at 5 and 6.
Thank you, Keely. The caravan of Central American migrants headed to the U.S. has splintered into smaller groups, and the first of them has arrived at the California border through Tijuana, Mexico.
The Trump administration is moving quickly to tighten security and to stop migrants from entering illegally. Meg Oliver reports.
Hundreds of Central American migrants pulled ahead of the caravan and made it to the U.S. border crossing in Tijuana. Arriving on 9 busloads, some celebrated by climbing the border fence to put one leg into U.S. territory. They were then taken to shelters in groups of 30 to 40. The original caravan has picked up speed by breaking into smaller groups. The U.S. government has been preparing by hardening the border with barbed wire and barriers.
Is there anything you need that you don't have?
Defense Secretary Jim Mattis joined Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen visiting troops at the crossing point in McAllen, Texas. Mattis says nearly 6,000 service members have been deployed so far and called it a moral and ethical mission.
Border security is part of national security. Our units are in a position to enable the Border Patrol's law enforcement operations.
Mattis says the troops are there for planning and support, and that law enforcement will stay under the umbrella of Homeland Security.
I do not anticipate military personnel coming into direct contact with migrants.
Another large group from the caravan is now in the final stretch, approaching Tijuana. Altogether, as many as 10,000 migrants are on their way, hoping for a new life in America. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
And many of those migrants say they are fleeing poverty, gang violence, and political unrest. President Trump has insinuated without proof that criminals or even terrorists are in that group.
A week after the midterm election, Congress has returned. More than 80 House freshmen posed for a class photo in front of the U.S. Capitol. They're in Washington for orientation. The new Democrats in town are also having to navigate a caucus divided over Leader Nancy Pelosi's bid for Speaker. House Democrats won't pick their leader until later this month.
I support Nancy Pelosi 1,000,000%.
I believe we need change, and so I'm supporting change.
We're excited about maintaining our majority and growing our majority. We're confident we're going to have 53 Republican senators.
On the other side of the Capitol, Senator Mitch McConnell won another term as majority leader this morning and met with GOP freshmen. Among them, Governor Rick Scott, who is still locked in a recount battle with Democrat Bill Nelson for Florida's Senate seat. Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer also won another term at his post. Congress is out next week for the Thanksgiving holiday, and that means lawmakers have just 2 weeks to reach a deal to fund the government. The fate of a $100 million tax incentive package to Kimberly-Clark is unclear today.
The tax break bill is designed to keep the company's plant open in northeast Wisconsin, but not all state senators are on board. News 3's Rose Schmidt tells us the next steps here. Rose?
Well, Mark and Susan, if this tax break passes, it would save nearly 400 jobs at Kimberly-Clark. The problem, though, at least 3 Republican senators have come out against this plan, sponsored by their own party. Kimberly-Clark announced earlier this year that it planned to close its plant in Fox Crossing, one of its higher-cost facilities. The state assembly then passed a plan to provide incentives to the company in hopes that they would keep it open. At a public hearing today in the state's budget committee, another Republican, Senator Luther Olson, acknowledged his doubts about the plan, asking whether $100 million would be enough to keep its doors open.
We passed this bill, we saved these jobs. With this bill, you preserve the legacy of Kimberly-Clark in the state for probably generations to come.
I am not convinced that this is the right thing for the state to do.
Without the votes, Republicans are calling on Democrats to support the plan, but none have said they would. Senator John Erpenbach argued they weren't a part of the process from the beginning and questioned why they would be on board now. The Joint Finance Committee did not schedule a vote on the bill, and it's unclear whether the full Senate will take it up in session if Republicans don't find votes to pass it.
We'll continue to follow it. Thank you, Rose.
Firefighters are gaining ground against 2 deadly wildfires burning in California. Flare-ups like this one west of Malibu are still cause for concern. Another body was found in the Woolsey fire this morning. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. About 24 victims of the Camp Fire in Northern California are blaming a utility company for starting the blaze.
The evidence is quite clear that this fire was caused by a PG&E transmission line, and PG&E needs to be held accountable.
The lawsuit was filed in San Francisco against Pacific Gas and Electric Company for failing to maintain its power line. PG&E acknowledged the legal battle, stating, "The safety of our customers and the communities we serve is our highest priority." The death toll now from both fires stands at 50.
The consumer advocacy group Watch released its list of potentially harmful holiday toys. It says toys like this Black Panther slash claw and a fruit cutting kit can cause blunt force trauma or eye damage. Toys like the Cabbage Patch Kids Dance Time doll and the Zoo Jam xylophone can fall apart and become choking hazards. A toy industry trade group argues everything sold in the U.S. has to go through the strictest regimen in the world for safety testing, and it claims that Watch doesn't do rigorous tests. Wall Street is on track for its longest losing streak in 3 months as Apple flirts with bear territory. Its stock is down 20%. The Dow Industrials lost almost 206 points, ending the day at 25,080. The NASDAQ Composite Index dropped 64, and the S&P 500 was off 20. Well, Thanksgiving is just 8 days away.
And Consumer Reports is calling on the U.S. Department of Agriculture to identify the brands of turkey involved in an ongoing salmonella outbreak. In the past year, hundreds of cases of salmonella have been linked to raw turkey products. The CDC reports illnesses in 35 states, including 1 death in California, and about a half of those sickened have been hospitalized.
We really wanted to make sure that people are washing their hands after handling raw turkey, making sure that people are cooking turkey to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. If you cook turkey to the internal temperature of 165 degrees, this strain of salmonella should die.
Salmonella has been detected in ground turkey, raw turkey, pet food, and live turkeys, an indication that the bacteria is widespread in the turkey industry. A common supplier has not been identified.
Still to come tonight at 4, a conversation with the chairman of the board of the New York Times.
We'll talk with Arthur Schultzberger about the state of the free press and how the paper deals with criticism by some that it's fake news. That's when Live at 4 continues. The state of journalism continues to evolve, and our guest today has had a front row seat to those changes. The chairman of the board of the New York Times Company, Arthur Sulzberger Jr., is visiting Madison today and joining us here on Live at 4. Welcome.
Nice to see you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Sulzberger served as publisher of the New York Times from 1992 to 2017, and now his son, A.G. Sulzberger, leads the paper in the same role. I understand he's the fifth generation?
Fifth generation of the Ox-Sulzberger family.
Wow.
Since 1896.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yes, it is. It's quite a compliment to the family and the commitment that my family has had to the mission of the New York Times.
Arthur, let's talk about the state of journalism in 2018.
Okay.
Some people feel like this is going to be a defining moment for journalism and journalists. And others feel like the trust is eroding in the press and that people are more frequently turning to partisan sources for their information and that the democracy is in real peril. Right. Where do you see it?
I see it a little bit of both. That there's no question that the trust in journalism has eroded. There's no question that the level of partisanship has risen dramatically. And you know, we can blame everything from the internet to just our society at this moment. But we've been in this place before in this country, and I have great faith in the citizens of the United States and in our ability to come back together again.
I was going to say that we've been here before.
Yes, we have.
Journalism, the muckrakers and distrust of the print media, and we made it through.
And we made it through. And that's because our society splits, and then it comes back together. And some of us will remember what it was like in the 60s, given the race issues and the war in Vietnam. Your famous senator, Joe McCarthy, and McCarthyism, a time of tremendous split. So I just have faith that we will come back together, but it doesn't mean it's hard. It isn't hard. It is hard. And we have to maintain our integrity. And that's the challenge for all of us in the world of journalism, to cover the real world honestly.
We have been here before, but it does feel like this is a more challenging time for journalists than it has been in recent memory.
Yes.
For example, President Trump yesterday tweeted that a story in the New York Times about the North Korean missile sites was inaccurate. He called it fake news. How do you respond to that, and how is the public to deduce the truth in that environment?
The way we respond to it is, one, we have to cover it, because he is doing that, and he is the President of the United States. And then we have to say, okay, here's what we reported, and here's why we reported it. And we have to have the conversation. And the joy of the digital era is, while it has certainly changed the business model of journalism in a dramatic way and a very tough way for local journalism in particular, it does enable to have a broader conversation about what's happening and a more intimate conversation. And that's the power of the digital era. We also have to have faith that that as long as we maintain our mission, we will be at a good place. But we can't become divisive. We have to be part of the answer.
And the president had a fiery confrontation with CNN's Jim Acosta. He subsequently lost his press pass to the White House. And it
was pulled, right?
That's pretty.
It's
historic.
No, actually, it's there 3 times this has happened.
Well,
this is the third.
Of course, history is not very often.
Just so you know, the last 2 times it went to court, and both times the press pass was returned. And this is going to go to court again. As you know, the CNN has filed.
Is it an affront to the First Amendment?
Of course it is. And there's no question about that. Look, this is a tough time to be a journalist. Internationally, it's terrifying. The number of journalists who have been killed is remarkable. I always thought that the most dangerous time to be a journalist was in the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, and that was incredibly dangerous, but I think it's even more dangerous now. And look what happened in Turkey, right? But even in this country, we've had people go into newsrooms and shoot up the newsrooms. I mean, it's just, we have to reflect on that. This is a tough time, but I have great faith in journalists. We're tough people, and we're going to make our way through this. But let's keep the vision on, keep on maintaining our mission. Honestly,
the business is changing. Digital. It's a digital world now, and I think sometimes people have a discomfort with journalism being a business that serves the public interest. But that is sort of the reality that we're living in, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is.
But how do you restore faith that you're not just trying to get more clicks?
I think the only way to bring back the faith is, one, to help the country reunite, and that means maintaining our mission. That's the core.
And providing context.
Always context. Yeah, it's tough. And it's tough because for many news organizations, newspapers in particular, the number of journalists is now half of what it was 15 years ago. The business model has gone through tremendous damage. Some, like the New York Times, have been able to move to a new business model. It's not about the advertising, but rather about the circulation. I mean, we now have 4 million paid subscribers, 3 million digital, 1 million print, rough numbers.
That's quite remarkable.
That's remarkable. I've never in the history of newspapers have we seen that kind of number. But that's because we are now a national/international brand. I do worry about local journalism in particular.
And through all of this and all the turmoil, there's no other path you'd have taken.
Well, when you say path, what do you mean?
Journalism.
Oh, personally speaking, I think when I was 7, I wanted to be a cop. With that one exception, I love journalism, yeah. I love being a reporter, I love being an editor, and then moving to the business side and realizing that that's just all part of the mission. Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you and the New York
Thank
Times
you.
and to journalism.
Thank you, and it's a delight to be here, so thank you both for this moment, and
we appreciate
best
it.
wishes.
Welcome to Madison, Arthur. Great to see you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
We'll be right back. Well, take a look at this. If you're thinking about speeding through a neighborhood dressed as Fred Flintstone, maybe yabba yabba don't. Don Schwartz learned that the hard way when he was pulled over by officials in Florida. Schwartz was driving a smart car altered to replicate the show's famous Footmobile, and he was dressed as Fred Flintstone because, well, Florida. Schwartz got a ticket. The vehicle was impounded. Wilma!
Now, this wasn't a Halloween thing.
No.
This was like yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
A Tuesday thing.
I don't know. It's kind of cute.
Cute, that's the word.
All right, Florida.
Today is Wednesday, November 14th. It's Loosen Up and Lighten Up Day. That's good advice every day.
I think so.
Absolutely. It's also National Spicy Guacamole Day. You can always enjoy it. Keep in mind, though, that there are 400 calories in 1 cup
And
of
you're on
guac.
the wedding dress diet.
Yes.
She is working out so much. Have you seen on social media?
I love working out, though.
I'm proud of you, though.
We're
You're
gonna have
working
a squat
hard.
day,
You're
a late
working
day
hard.
workout.
Well, this will help.
Thank
It's
you.
National Pickle Day.
Hey.
The word pickle is derived from the Dutch word pekkel, which means brine.
Oh.
Now, word is getting out that Mark eats a pickle every day,
I do.
right?
For lunch.
Somebody posted on my Facebook page that for Christmas, I should get you a membership into the Pickle of the Month Club.
There's a Pickle of the Month Club.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. That's going to be your present this year.
And there's no calories in these.
No,
Zero.
no.
Okay, so you can have one, Dana.
Like bread and butter pickles, those, of course,
Those
have a
are
little
my
more
favorite.
sugar.
But you
they're
don't like
delicious.
that kind.
No.
Yeah.
That's a bad decision.
You eat a pickle. You literally you have one pickle every day?
A slice.
Okay.
Yeah, a
slice.
quarter. A quarter.
With a sandwich, is that
What's that?
with a sandwich?
Yes.
The same kind of sandwich.
Turkey and Swiss every day.
As long as it's
I
not.
switched to blue chips, though. I'm mixing it up here.
Switching up a lot. All right. Outside, we're switching up a little
Time.
bit. Weather, we have an alert day in the forecast for this weekend. We'll take a look after the break. Sunshine today, and thankfully not as cool outside for us. The last several days, of course, we've been just a little chilly. We spent 62 hours below freezing, and then we finally broke that threshold this afternoon, and now we're hovering just right around freezing. before we cool down overnight. So we didn't cross that threshold for too long. Overall, our Doppler track right now looks okay. No concerns for any flurries overnight. For the last several years, we've actually only had a few days in November below freezing. Looks like we'll kind of be similar to the last several years, that trend continuing. Nothing like 2014. 13 days below freezing. It was a little cold. So if you're not happy about the cold right now, just flash back. Thankfully, it's not 2014. We're just a little warmer. Looking back through the months so far, though, we have had several days for us that have been below freezing. Overall, nothing too close to average. There a close little stretch, 3 days, where we were close to average, right at average on the 6th, and then we've been on this cool trend, and we'll stay on that cool trend for today, not getting anywhere close to average. Tomorrow, we'll get a little closer with the southerly flow continuing on, but we'll still stay below average. So you know what? We actually may be close to 2014 by the end of the month. High pressure now shifting east. That's the reason our wind direction shifted for us a little bit. Our next weather maker is still well off to the west, but it is knocking on the door for our weekend forecast, unfortunately. So enjoy the sunshine today. Clear sky overnight. As we head into Thursday morning, temperatures will be in the mid-20s, not in the teens. That wind chill factored in, though, it is going to feel like we'll be in the upper teens for us. A clear sky for much of Thursday, mostly sunny in the afternoon. Afternoon highs will be in the low 40s, which is still below average, but a little better than the 20s. A few clouds for us overnight heading into Friday morning. Friday morning, though, the moisture will stay to the north. Clouds throughout the morning and partly cloudy in the afternoon. And then our next event starts to move in overnight Friday and into Saturday. And we're talking about some rain showers, maybe even some snow showers moving on in for us throughout southern Wisconsin. The most accumulation seems to be right along that Wisconsin-Illinois line. As we head throughout Saturday morning, all of that will continue to shift southeast. It won't be an all-day event. Those showers, snow and rain showers, will steadily be wrapping up throughout the morning, coming into a little bit of drizzle for us later on. Potential for snowfall here seems to be right around 2 inches, again, for that Illinois-Wisconsin border, with numbers decreasing the further you go north and into northern Illinois. You may see a few spots right around 2 inches. Because of that, we have added an alert day into the forecast for Saturday, specifically in the morning. That light snowfall, again, could add up to 2 inches for some areas. The heaviest there being the South Madison. Right now, we're looking right about an inch is what we're estimating for Saturday morning. Some freezing drizzle is possible throughout the morning as temperatures slowly start to warm up and as that precip all slides south. So keep that in mind for your travel plans on Saturday. Beautiful sunset for us. But now the sun is gone officially. 34 after for us. Barely hitting 33 today. Again, we should have been in the mid-40s, so still below average in the teens this morning. It won't be as chilly as we had overnight, though, in the low 20s for us tonight with a mostly clear sky. Tomorrow will be in the low 40s, partly sunny. But just a little milder outside for your Thursday. We have that shower chance moving in late in the day on Friday and for Saturday morning. Again, because of the potential to see up to 2 inches of rain for parts of southern Wisconsin, we do have that alert day in the forecast for Saturday. Heading into next week, we'll have another cool start to the week. But right now it looks like we will become a little more mild by Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Temps will steadily increase again towards the end of next week. So I hope you're able to get outside and enjoy the sunshine today.
And if you're headed south on Friday night, Saturday, it might be a little more snow.
Correct, correct. If you are, for whatever reason, trying to drive overnight or early in the morning on Saturday, do be aware that the roads are going to be slick Saturday morning, and we're going to be dealing with the snowfall at that time.
Okay. Good timing, though, Saturday morning.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
Britain's Prince Charles turns 70 today, and celebrations are underway across London to honor the future king.
Soldiers fired traditional gun salutes in London to celebrate the 70th birthday of Prince Charles. At Westminster Abbey, bells rang in his honor. Prince Charles is next in line to the British throne and has been for 67 years, longer than any other royal heir. The prince and his wife Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, attended a private reception at London's Spencer House, where they met 70 people aged 70 who have been recognized for their work in the local community.
How am I feeling?
Yeah, everything's still working.
Older. I'm not sure. It's rather like indigestion. Many happy returns are not quite the same thing as you get older.
If his parents are any indication, Prince Charles has many more birthdays ahead of him. His mother, Queen Elizabeth, is 92, and his father, Prince Philip, is 97.
But he's been waiting 67 years to become the king. Well, still to come at 4, former First Lady Michelle Obama is giving Americans a candid look at life in the White House.
Her new book, one of the most anticipated of the year, hits store shelves today. We'll have more on that when Live at 4 continues.
Capitol Square on a Wednesday afternoon. The sun is already set. Former First Lady Michelle Obama kicked off her book tour yesterday in her hometown of Chicago.
Tom Hansen has more on new details Mrs. Obama is revealing about her time in the White House.
Oprah interviewed Michelle Obama in front of a full house at Chicago's United Center for the release of the former First Lady's highly anticipated book, Becoming.
People ask, do I miss the White House? And it's like, no, I don't miss the house. You know, it was an honor to live there, but the people in it make it what it is.
The memoir, which covers topics from a miscarriage to Mrs. Obama's time in the White House, holds the top spot on Amazon's bestsellers list. Most notably, Obama makes no secret of her feelings for the man now occupying her husband's old office, writing, quote, Donald Trump, with his loud and reckless innuendos, was putting my family's safety at risk, and for this, I'd never forgive him.
It seems that whatever the Obama administration has done, it seems the current administration wants to undo. How do you handle that when you look at the work that you all have done?
You know, the truth is that the presidency's isn't ours to own, you know? It's the people's job.
In an interview with Gayle King today on CBS This Morning, Obama reflects on the 2018 midterm with a clear message.
Voting matters, and the people who go to the polls determine how the country is going to be led. The notion that voting doesn't work, that it's fixed, no, it's not.
Obama is now on a 12-stop nationwide book tour. Tom Hansen for WISC News 3.
Last week, when asked about the book, President Trump told reporters the former First Lady got paid a lot of money to write it and that a little controversy is to be expected.
When we come back, it's time to start the holiday decorating, Susan.
Nothing says Christmas more than evergreens. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here. She has some decorating tips for us when Live at 4 continues.
Traffic is cruising along. The sun has set for us. We're looking at 12 right at Park Street right now. Things seem to be going along okay so far. A little bit of a delay for us along the Beltline right now. Speeds reduced a bit. Over towards Cross Plains to Black Earth, of course, we still have that section of 14 closed both directions right now due to construction. And down near Verona, part of McKee Road still closed as well. But much of Main Street in Verona and 151 actually looks okay. Those Beltline speeds right now, the eastbound side about 29 miles per hour near John Nolan, and then also 21 a little closer to Fish Hatchery Road. Should be a fairly smooth drive where you're going. Just understand, of course, you may go a little slower on the Beltline right now, but thankfully no major accidents or anything to point out at this time. Drive times from Janesville to the Beltline will take you about 27 minutes, 17 from Sauk City to Middleton. And if you are heading from Sun Prairie to downtown, should take you just about 18 minutes. But a lot of green out there, nothing too alarming for your Wednesday commute. Guys?
All right, Dana, thank you. Here's the perfect gift for the ranch dressing lover on your list. Hidden Valley is selling a magnum of ranch dressing. The 1.75-liter bottle even comes gift wrapped. The $25 bottles go on sale December 3rd on the Hidden Valley website. So pour it on your salad, your veggies, your fries, your wings, your steaks, whatever. No judgment here. And if that's not enough, they even have an ugly Christmas sweater for ranch dressing lovers.
Do you have any idea how much that costs?
The sweater?
No, the ranch.
$25.
Oh, $25.
Yeah.
All right.
Order now. And the holiday season is here. Let the decorating begin.
Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
We're talking
How are you guys?
evergreens and alternatives.
Yes. So we have a lot of people that come in this time of year and they want to do something outside on their porch with evergreens, with with greens, and then they want to know what else they can put in there that will survive the weather.
Okay.
Or what can you decorate your wreath with that's outside? So there are things that are made specifically for outdoors. So when you're looking at berries, you want to make sure that they're hard and plastic and not squishy, like this one. If you squish that.
Oh, these are real?
Yeah, see? These have got styrofoam in them, and so they'll split. These aren't real. This is plastic.
Oh, they're really?
Yes.
You wouldn't know.
It's really plastic.
Real plastic?
It's real plastic. That being said, I mean, things like this that are kind of fancy, like velvet with glitter and jewels and stuff, it'll be fine outside. The more weather it gets, the shorter its life is going to be. But that doesn't mean you can't put something like this in a container for the season. It'll be fine.
Just have to replace it next year.
You just replace it next year with something different. Same thing with ribbon. There's outdoor ribbon. It's usually kind of plasticky looking and a little bit boring. You can use any kind of ribbon. I find that if something's got wire edge in it, it'll hold the shape a little bit better when you have it if it gets a little snow. If you're looking at lights, a lot of people want to use battery operated lights. Just make sure that they seal, that there's a gasket. And this one is really cool. It's got a timer, so you can set it in your pot, lock it up, and you're done.
Shut it off at midnight or something?
Yeah, it'll go on and then off. Make sure outside that you use lithium batteries instead of the alkalines because they'll last a lot longer in our cold weather. And then, you know, there's all kinds of cool shatterproof stuff that looks really nice that you could wire into a wreath or, yeah.
Those are really pretty.
Yeah, they're really pretty. And they are, unless, you know, it hits a sidewalk from a distance or somebody throws it, it'll survive. It's fine. Made to be outside and to not break.
Now, what do you do with the loose greens like this?
So you could just put these in a pot. This is sort of a mixed one. There's some, this is from the West Coast, some incense cedar, some Port Orford cedar, and then this is noble fir. And what I like to do is just get the regular greens of the native stuff, like Fraser fir or balsam fir, and then put this in it kind of like as extras. Because this stuff tends to be a little bit more expensive, and a little bit can go a really long way.
I love the smell.
Inhale, Mark, yeah.
I love the smell
Oh, it
of
smells
this.
so good. It's aromatherapy.
And then you can get red twig dogwood stems or curly willow. There's all sorts of stuff at the garden center. And pots that are pre-made if you don't feel like doing it yourself.
There you
and then
go.
all sorts of notions and things to put things together yourself.
That's it. Just let your imagination run wild.
Absolutely. It's really fun. It's the best time of year.
There's no wrongs.
There's no rule. There are no rules.
All right. Well, I love this little thing. That's
yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a little something.
Do you have any trees yet, or is it early for trees?
At the store? They got delivered from upstate yesterday. So they should be out on the lot either, like I would think by Friday we're going to start to see some.
Okay.
So yes. So the
All right.
Fraser firs
There you go,
from Silent
Susan.
Night are here.
You
so
now
we're
have
ready.
permission
I know, I
to
love
put the
it.
tree up.
I'm one of those people. I can't wait to turn the lights on.
First of all, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, you guys too.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lisa Harvey, too.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right. We'll be right back with a final check of your forecast. All right, Dana's back. A final look at the forecast. Not a bad evening.
No, not at all. So today we actually finally climbed over freezing, which was nice after 62 consecutive hours below freezing. Last time we had that kind of stretch, it was back in March. Soon we're going to spend a lot of time, of course, below freezing. Looking ahead to tomorrow, will actually be a little warmer overnight. Temperatures won't drop into the teens. We'll start the day off in the mid to low 20s with sunshine, a mostly clear sky throughout the afternoon. High temps will be in the low 40s for us for our forecast on Thursday. Now, tomorrow is going to be our little peak of this slow and steady warming trend. Unfortunately, we back down a little bit on Friday, a little closer to the upper 30s or 40 degrees with clouds building in. And then we are looking at the chance for showers overnight, rain and snow showers heading into Saturday morning. Because of that, we do have an alert day in the forecast for Saturday.
And heavier snow further south.
Correct. Along that state line, that's where we'll be seeing about 2 inches of snowfall is what we're leaning toward right now.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right,
Dana.
thanks, Dana.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.